Welcome everybody to my independent spotlight interview series. The first one I did was with Jason JV, and now we're going to have Domier the Dragon on. It's very informal. I have a few standard questions for interviews, and then a few out there off the wall ones. What's up?
Let's do it. What's up?
Not much. Waiting to see if people will file in according to the YouTube algorithm. Right now it says I have 0 watchers, but I know Alpha, Menace, and Doom were in the chat. They may have all left when I went live.
Yeah, maybe.
Says we got 4.
I got a bone to pick with Alpha.
Oh, okay.
I ain't have no meatballs in my goddamn hair. That's the way he edited it. It's not me. I promise. See that clip?
Uh-huh.
I'm here for the meatballs.
Hey, Fireman. Like I said, we're going to give it just a few minutes before I start with the actual interview to let people file in and get here and all.
Let's go.
Don't want to have to repeat questions for people.
Hey, would you be willing to play the new song?
I don't have the ability. I can share, when you share screen, I can, and I'll be able to do it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I can do that. That's easy enough.
Right.
Gotta find it.
It's all gravy. Be a great way to kick off before we start our actual interview.
Yeah. Let's do it. Share screen. Some screens let you share audio. Look for a share audio. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm doing it right.
Gotcha. All right, here we go.
This is called Rules to Dream By. Let's go. All right. Are you ready? Okay, I was making sure.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm gonna mute so that the audio doesn't sound so bad for me.
Yeah, I'll mute as well.
Cool.
This song is written for the little boy I used to be. Sitting in that trailer park, chilling, listening to music, dreaming of something different. Shout out to the young me, never told myself that I couldn't do shit. Shout out to the dumb me, cause the right choice doesn't lead to this bliss. Everybody got a dream till they give up. Only one life, better go and live up. From a trailer park boy to the king of ain't fucking beat that I get on. Heard him talking when I didn't have shit. Couple flames to the fire, I was building back then. I was down on my luck, but I put the work in on that storybook shit. Rags are rich, his days are messing up. Lesson 1 is never giving up. Take a step and then another one. Never turn around no matter what. When you think you're done, you're never done. What's inside is brighter than the sun. I don't give a fuck is number 2. What's best for you is what you fucking do. Don't forget about a bit of love. Success is only half of what you want. Loneliness will kill the strongest man. And no one at your funeral is sad. Everybody got a dream until they give it up. Give it up, give it up. Everybody got a dream until they give it up. Give it up, give it up. Shout out to the young me, never told myself that I couldn't do shit. Shout out to the dumb me, cause the right choice doesn't lead to this bliss. Everybody got a dream till they give up. Only one life, better go and live up. From a trailer park boy to the king of ain't fucking beat that I get on. No double wide lock 45 with a dirt road, got a better rock to him. Nobody rap where I'm from, so to the boy that I wasn't gonna talk to him. Everybody gonna say that's rule number 3. Don't listen to anybody that ain't live your life. Keep your cool, act real nice. Trash whatever they say, that's probably just bad advice. But it works for me and it's a rule I like. Give a fuck about who was right, just make a choice and go live your life. Make a choice and go live your life. Live your dream and don't sacrifice. Everybody wanna talk their shit. Jealousy will try to dim your light. Everybody got a dream until they give it up. Give it up. Give it up. Everybody got a dream until they give it up. Give it up. Give it up.
Well, that answered half of my questions. I think you're still muted.
Oh, my bad, my bad.
It's all good.
I'm new
But
to this.
yeah, it's all good. That was dope. I like that.
Hey, that's what's up. Yeah, StreamYard does suck for audio.
Yeah, it does, and that's why I don't usually play music. But when I got an artist that can share their screen and play their music, I like to do it for them.
Yeah, that's why StreamYard is better. Or
You mean
Restream.
Restream? Yeah, Restream. Yeah, just Restream hates Samsung users.
Yeah, it just hates people with 9 toes. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that too.
Shouldn't make this about roasting you. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I can laugh at myself too. I tell people all the time, if you can't laugh at yourself, come sit next to me and I'll laugh at you for you.
Let's go.
All right. So one of my first questions is, how did you get into music? What was your musical journey getting to be where you are today?
So how I got into music was told the story a couple times is basically I've always enjoyed listening to music and but like I said, there was no in that song, there's nobody around me that ever made music. So I didn't pursue it or think of anything like it. And I wasn't like a choir kid growing up. I did band for like a year, and then that was like all my music like journey before I was like 17. And then a group of my friends decided one day that we wanted to make a song because he had found out about the program Audacity, and he's like, dude, we can make a song on this. We just got to record it. So like we bought a random little mic, and then what Domier play in band? Oh, the flute? No. I played the trombone for a year. That was the instrument that I played.
Nice.
But like we got a mic, we recorded a song, and it was booty. But it was like me and 3 of my friends, and it was a ton of fun. And then after I realized like you can just make a song, like you can just get a mic and make a song on a computer, like then it just kind of started going down the rabbit hole of, okay, well, if I can write a song, let me write another verse, let me do another song, let me do a remix, let me do this. And I got really into it.
It almost became an addiction, huh?
Yeah, from like 17 to like 21 when I left for the military. I was like consistently dropping stuff. I even had a channel at the time that was like, I had like 42,000 subscribers or something. But then when I left for the military and I got done with boot camp, I was like, oh, I'm not a rapper anymore. And I just kind of got rid of everything.
Yeah.
And I deleted the channel, got rid of like most of the music that was on there because it was all like just remixes of other rap songs and stuff like that. And then, Yeah, and that's basically where I left off. And then probably like I would say probably like 7 years ago, 8 years ago. Even though I left making music, I still kept writing. And then like 7 years ago, I was like, oh shit, I really miss that I don't make music anymore. So I like made a small little EP and put that out on SoundCloud, and then I kind of forgot about it again for a little bit. And then what was it, 3 4 years ago now, 2020, whatever it was, 2019. I kind of I was kind of dealing with a lot of things mentally, and I needed an outlet, and I started like going to God and praying, and then I started getting into like religious hip hop, and I was like, oh my God, there's a lane for this. Like I didn't even know any of this stuff, and
right,
kind of just was like re-sparked the fire for me to make music again. And then I was like, but I'm gonna make music this time, and I'm gonna make it about like I'm gonna make it with meaning. I'm not gonna make music just to make music. I want it to always have at least some type of meaning when I make it. So that was like the main difference between what I did 10, 12 years ago to what I do now.
right.
And that's ultimately where we came from, and then met everybody through that song alone has a lot of people. That song took me from I had 42.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, that the song "Weak" is the one a lot of people resonate with you, and what a lot of people will point to as an introduction into your music.
Facts. And that took me from like 42 subscribers when I started this channel back up. I had this channel, and it was like I did a couple different things on this channel throughout the years, and it was just like 42 subscribers when I started uploading music on it, and Week took me from that to 1,000 subscribers. Well, there was other songs along the way, but
Right.
Week was primarily like the big growth factor.
And you touched a little bit on this in what you were saying, but how long were you in the military, and why did you join the Navy?
I was in the military for 10 years.
Nice.
Technically, it wasn't 10 years. It was like 9 years, 11 months, and like 20 days.
Yeah, it's funny how most military people can tell you exactly to the day, hour, and all that, how long they were in.
I remember every miserable moment. And then why did I choose the Navy? Both my parents were in the military, and they were both in the Navy. And then when I had like, when I got done with high school, I went to college for a year. Then I went and moved over to where my friends were, and I kind of like took a gap year, I guess you could say, gap year.
Right.
And just partied and did all that stuff. And then after I was done with that, I moved back home, and I was like, okay, I got to do something. I can't just work at Buffalo Wild Wings for the rest of my life.
Right.
And at that time, my sister was working with the Navy recruiter, and she needed a ride to one of the meetings or whatever. So I went to the meeting, and I was just like sitting there chilling. And then recruiter talked to me, took a practice test, did really good on a practice test, and then went down and got talked into serving. But I always say like the reason I joined was I knew that I didn't want to be like I didn't want to be in debt. I didn't want to. I knew that I had to work for my money, and this was like a way to get me into something that was different than what I was doing before. Like I was working at Buffalo Wild Wings,
right?
The military, and
the rest is history.
Yeah, I got into the nuclear field, and once I realized I qualified for that and like started looking into it, it was like wasn't so much that I was going to be doing it in the military. It was all the benefits after you get out, how like sought after you were. And I had known a couple people that had joined that were like a little bit older than me, like 5 years older than me, that had joined were just about getting out, and I reached out to them, talked to them a little bit about the program, and yeah, kind of just they were telling me about how it had improved their life, like how crappy it was, but how it had improved their life. So, and it was always a goal to me to have like a family, and that was like something that like I wanted to be able to eventually be able to provide for a family. So like that was very much front and center of why I made the choice. And I knew like, sure, I'm making music and stuff, but that wasn't bringing in any money. Buffalo Wild Wings isn't bringing it like anything to write home about. So I decided to join, and then like 3 months after I joined, I started dating my now wife. So
Right. You were saying? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, you're fine.
But that's one thing that I've noticed with probably about 75% of people that join the military, it's because some member of their family was in. And a lot of us that grew up in the military crave that wanting to be some part of something bigger than ourselves.
Yeah, facts.
But back to the other questions. But what?
I'll just say like also like throughout my life, I would say like 9/11, although it was 10 years since 9/11 had happened when I joined, I would still say that was like, you know, after 9/11, everybody was patriotic. So it was so front and center, and it was so like,
yeah,
like, you like seen war, you kind of like knew a little bit about it. So like that's I think why I didn't join like Army or Marines. Like I knew I didn't want to do that, but I did want to like help and do something bigger than myself.
right. I feel you. Now, what's your most favorite song you've made?
The next one.
And your least favorite?
The one I just released. That's really how it goes. Every song is the next song is gonna be dope, and I can't wait to make it. I can't wait to hear it finished. I can't wait to listen to it 1,000 more times, and then after I've listened to it 1,000 more times, the one I just released is like I'm sick of this song. I need it.
Now, is there a song you regret making, like a diss track you had with somebody that you just didn't really know, and once you got to know them, you regretted doing the diss track, or in any way, shape, or form, a song you regret making?
No. I don't regret making any music I've ever made, however, like the future comes, right? Like, let's say in 10 years, me and Killa become best friends, right?
Right.
Never regret making Hold Me Back. I'll never regret in the songs that I did, the other disses I didn't make or didn't release.
Right.
Because at the time, that's how I felt, and that's how I've always viewed music as an expression of how I feel at the moment and a way to deal with.
It's an outlet.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you. What artists have inspired you to do music?
From
childhood on.
From childhood on.
Yeah.
It's so hard to tell because like I listen to so many different types of music. Like in my family growing up, we were always listening to R&B. R&B was like the mainstay, and there was a little bit of hip hop in there, but I definitely listened to a lot of like, as far as hip hop goes, like LL Cool J. I remember listening to Coolio, like kind of fringe R&B hip hop. Bone Thugs was like huge in my family. As far as like rap and hip hop goes, and then other than that, it was all just like, Keith Sweat, fucking Brian McKnight, like a whole ton of R&B artists.
Brian McKnight did Back to One, right?
Yeah. I could
The
probably
video for that blew my mind the first time I saw it.
I
I
probably
was
seen
like, wow.
words to Back to One.
Yeah.
And then I guess when I became a teenager, I was probably heavily influenced by like Kid Cudi. The first ever hip hop songs or the first ever like introduction into real rap in hip hop was when I got a CD player. My great grandmother, took me to the store and I picked out a CD, and that was it was an Eminem album. Was the first one I listened to. I don't remember if it was it's the one where he's sitting in front of his house. I don't remember. That's the Marshall Mathers LP.
I think that's the Marshall Mathers one. Yeah.
I remember having that as one of the first CDs I ever bought, and then went from that to 50 Cent because Eminem was. Because then you start listening to a whole bunch of Eminem, and then Eminem starts pushing 50 Cent, and it's like, oh wow, this is a whole nother music. And then from 50 Cent, it was like Ludacris. It was like, who else was I listening to at that time when I got like really into hip hop? Like that whole era of music.
Nelly and the Saint Lunatics and all that.
Yeah, my mom was a big Nelly fan, so I like always was listening to Nelly, but
Yeah.
that was her new age R&B. Definitely not Puff Daddy. I don't think I've ever listened to Puff Daddy. And then I went from that to like, okay, now I like hip hop. Let me go back, and then you start listening to Tupac and Biggie. I was a bigger fan of what Biggie did and how he sounded, and then while I was listening to that stuff, then it became Kanye. And yeah, I think for 50 Cent, when 50 Cent and Kanye kind of had that beef of who can sell the most records or whatever, that introduced to Kanye. You got Jesus Walks, that was huge. You got Pharrell and all of those guys. Like you got Lupe Fiasco, like all those artists were super, like,
So you were more of a Biggie fan than a Pac fan. What was your favorite Biggie song?
I think my favorite one is Hypnotize. I mean, that's just like iconic.
Right.
I don't know if I have like a favorite song of his. I just love the way that he sounds when he's rapping. Like I like the flow and the pocket that he had, and like the bounce. It just felt like it just felt like the move to it. Like it wasn't necessarily what he was saying; it was how he was saying it that attracted me to what Biggie was doing. And then Kanye, and then you get into Kid Cudi, and I feel like Kid Cudi was really like before I got into like Drake coming up and whatever, like Kid Cudi was really like that influence and like the ability to make so many different types of songs. And I feel like I take a lot of inspiration from what he did.
Right.
So yeah, it's all over the place.
Yeah, but
I grew up in Wisconsin, so I hear a lot of music and I hear a lot of rock and roll, and like my grandma's into like Shania Twain, and it's all over the place. And then my grandma's into Buddy Holly and like way back, and I'm still enjoying all. So I just love music in general. Like I would say there was a large portion of my life where I didn't like country, or at least told myself I didn't like country, but I don't mind it now. I think there's good country and there's okay country.
Right.
Or great country and okay country, I guess I would say.
Yeah, I understand that. One of the other questions I had, you pretty much answered with your song, is if you could go and give a new artist advice, what would it be? And then if you could go back and give your younger self advice, what would it be? And would it be the same advice?
So I guess I'll address my younger self. One of the biggest things about me that took a long time to I guess learn to do was just being like not a pushover, be a little bit abrasive. If I feel a certain way, say how I feel and don't just go with the flow so much. Which I still to this day go with the flow with a lot of things, but I'm a lot more I guess hardened and like willing to stand my ground on things, or like if I don't like somebody, I'm willing to say I don't like somebody, like, or like just go do whatever, instead of like always feeling like I need to, I don't know, like not bow to other people, but like
gain approval or
it wasn't
not
even
upset the status quo.
Just like, I guess growing up there was so much drama in my personal life, like outside of like school. So like when it came to school, I didn't want drama, so it was always just like, hey, let's just chill, whatever it is gonna be, what it's gonna be, and like try to avoid anything crazy. So I wish at a younger age I just was able to like say no a little bit more. Like,
Right. I feel you. I understand that one completely. I'm kind of the same way. But let's go into the strangest interaction you've had with a fan in real life or online.
I still can't get over the fact of like the strangest interaction I had with a fan is, I don't even know if you call him a fan, but he's a friend. My daughter has this my daughter has this friend whose father is a fan of my music. And every time he comes, he's always like quoting my lyrics to me, and I don't know how to take that. Like, I don't know how to, like, he's like, dude, on this song you sounded like this and I loved it, and like he's like way too excited about my music, and I don't know how to handle it.
I can understand that one. It'd be pretty funny.
Like, that's cool. Like, appreciate you listening. Like,
yeah, that's one thing I always try to tell people is, artists or celebrities in general, whether they be independent or mainstream or what have you, they're people too. If you just talk to them and treat them like normal people, they're more likely to treat you that way. When you start putting them on the pedestal, that's when they start looking down on you.
Yeah. Embrace your friends, for real.
Exactly.
Yeah. I need to do a better job of that. That's actually what I've been kind of looking into, like, how, like, I know I don't like his music, but Upchurch, like, I really do like how he built his community. And I've been trying to do a little bit more research on how, like, he interacts with people, and like how he actually, like, I know he also started in a different spot than I did too. Like, he already had, because he was like a comedy guy first, like with skits.
Yeah, he was on Vine first doing skits, which is like the modern equivalent to TikTok back in the day. And
like,
then
music,
blew up.
I'm saying when he first dropped music, he already had like 100,000 subscribers and some shit like that. So like he's not like a fair comparison to, for like how fast he blew up, but
right,
I think that there is definitely some things that he's done that's helped, versus like other artists that maybe have better music but they don't do those things. So
right, it's all about marketing and connecting with your fans. In all honesty, but
I don't
what
answered the question of, I don't think I ever answered the other question you asked. The
strangest interaction online?
No, what advice I'd give to a new artist starting?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you went with just yourself, and then I moved
Yeah.
on. And I didn't realize.
No, that's fine. Because I do want to answer that. The biggest thing I would say is, regardless of where you're at with your music, um, if you're brand new, either learn how to mix. Like, I think everybody should pay somebody to mix at least one song so they can hear how they're supposed to sound. Because the hardest thing to get over is when you first start making music, you want yourself to sound like other artists when you're just going to sound like yourself no matter what you do. So, like, a lot of artists will mix their songs and they're going to try to distort the way their voice sounds so it sounds like somebody else's voice or sounds like somebody else's tone or whatever, right? So I think the best thing that somebody brand new could do is have somebody mix a song for them and then use that as your standard to mix to whenever you're trying to mix a song on your own, or just like really do a deep dive, or just pay for somebody to mix it. Like, you can get really good mixes out there for, like, if you've never mixed a song before, paying $20 to there's people that are on Fiverr that will mix a song for $20. It's not going to be amazing, but it's going to be better than anything that you can do on your own.
Right. So, that's one of the things I've always told independent artists when they're starting out is to go ahead and find somebody that does mixing and get them to mix for you for a good chunk of your early songs, just so that one, you develop a fan base, and two, and pick their brain when you're getting them to mix for you, and get them to explain things that they do to try to help you later on do your own mixing.
Facts. Also, the other thing I would recommend is having a budget per song. I'd say like a minimum would be $100. And like, try to do it on some type of consistent basis, be it every 2 months you're going to drop a song and you're just going to put $100 towards it, so that way you can buy the least to the beat. So that way you can put it on platforms like DistroKid and whatnot. And then all the extra money that you have left over, you can use that to promote your songs. Like, you have to promote your music, be it taking $5 of that and sending it into a reaction stream to get feedback, or be it, like I said, I've done, promoting your songs through the YouTube promote tab.
Right.
I just think if you're willing to put music out, you should also be willing to promote it to people.
Right. And for people that want to think that the YouTube promote tab is finger quotes buying subscribers or whatever, it's not. It's putting your stuff out into the algorithm, and it's a marketing ploy. It's putting it out there so that more eyes get to see you and come to your stuff.
Yeah, I'm not forcing anybody to subscribe to me.
Right. I know. And I just think that a lot of people will hear the YouTube promotions and think that it's some kind of shady deal, and it's not. It's no worse than like buying a commercial on TV for your company.
Yeah, I think also, like, if you're not willing to promote your songs, then like, why are you doing it? I guess, like,
yeah, you got to believe in yourself before anybody else is going to believe in you.
I don't know, that's just the way that I've always approached it, I guess, is like, because even before I was using the YouTube promote tab, I was still taking that money and I just think it was shady. Yes, now I have doubts. But even before I was using the YouTube promote tab, like, even if that's not what you want to do, if for some reason you have issues with that, I do think like sending it into reactors, or there's tons of reactors out there that will, for $5 do a reaction video to your song. Like,
the other thing is, there's a lot of reactors that'll do free requests You just have to wait through the paid requests to get to them. So be patient if you send it in to somebody and wait, your turn. The reactor get to it.
Yeah, that's one of two ways to provide currency is either your time or your money. Like,
Yep. And also whenever you stay in the reactor stream and you engage with the others that are in the reaction stream, in the chat and all that, you tend to build friendships and or network to be able to get your music out to other people.
facts.
And that's true, Fireman. A reactor may hear something in your song you did not hear and critique you to let you go ahead and fix it.
And then the other thing about other people's opinion, I kind of said in that song too, like it's fine to get as many opinions as you want, but you're gonna have to pick and choose what opinions you want
Right.
to apply or don't apply. Like there's a lot of people that give me feedback on how I should do music or whatever, but my goals aren't always the same as what their goals are. So
Right.
they're just trying to blow up and get signed by a label or something, and that's not necessarily what I want to do. I want to have fans that are like ride or die, like I want a bunch of dudes that just want to enjoy music and have a good time. And I don't necessarily want it. I'd rather have 100 ride or die dope fans that like listen to everything and are like always there supporting me than 1,000 fans that listen to the song and just turn on to the next song and go away.
Right. Also, another piece of advice I usually give new artists is get 5 people or even 3 people that you value their opinion and send your music to each of them before you drop it for feedback. And if a majority say that there's something wrong or the same thing wrong, use that as constructive criticism and go change what is being said that's wrong with it.
Facts. Everyone just doesn't do things the same way either, especially on the engineering side. No two engineers will mix the same. I can only give you my perspective, not necessarily wrong doing others. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's another thing too about like why I said get it mixed by somebody first, just so you have a baseline of what nice, good quality, how you would sound if you were recorded or mixed properly. But you can get to a point where your songs are mixed well enough to where the typical listener isn't going to, like, most people who listen to music either are listening to it on a radio that's not like, it's not a studio type room to where they're going to hear all the imperfections, or they're listening on some AirPods in a busy ass fucking bus on the way to work or a subway or something. Like,
Right.
every listening environment is not ideal. So
Well, that's one of the things also always says is that you should go ahead and whenever you make your song, listen to it in 3 different places. 1 where you're recording, 2 on a mobile device or whatever with earpods or headphones, and then the other in your car stereo.
yeah, cars are key. If it doesn't sound good in a car, don't release it. That's like, and that's pretty that's a pretty easy no go to do.
Not to mention, if you're driving around town listening to your own music in the car, you're gonna have people stop you and ask you who that is.
Yeah, it's real weird. It's some weird YouTube guy. I don't know.
All right, now we get into the goofy questions. Favorite breakfast food?
My favorite breakfast food of all time is French toast.
Nice. Peanut butter and jelly or grilled cheese?
Peanut butter jelly all day, every day.
What's your favorite dinner food?
Favorite dinner food? like nothing jumps out as like, oh, that's my favorite dinner food. Like I like a lot of different things. Like I guess if I had to pick something, and it's not even like a specific thing, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just the staples, like a veggie, a potato, and a meat, like probably chicken or pork.
Cool.
A pork chop, green beans, and potato. Just a good, hearty, well-rounded meal.
Gotcha. Beach or mountains?
Beach or mountains? I really don't like either. I guess I I like going to the beach, but I hate being sandy. I
I
like
get that.
sand all over me and in between my toes and shit. I feel like it's annoying to be at the beach. But I think the beach is pretty. But I feel like also I would hate being on a mountain. So I don't know.
I get you. And that's fine. You don't have to have either,
I think
And it sounds to me what you would like better than either of those two would be like a a lake, a lake resort where it's not beachy, but you can sit by the water and or swim or go ahead and fish or what have you.
yeah, I guess I would, if I had to pick between the two, I would pick mountains. Um Only for the fact that not a lot of people go to the mountains. And I'm kind of an introvert. Like I can go out and do things and talk to people, but I would rather be, alone with my own thoughts, as scary as that might be to some people.
Yeah, I don't like being alone with my own thoughts. That's one of the reasons why I go online a lot.
Yeah.
Have you performed any of your music live?
Not any of my new music live. I've performed music from back in the day live. I used to perform. I performed like, I don't know, like 8 to 10 times. I
Nice.
used to open up. There was like a club in neighboring town called Appleton that
Mm-hmm.
there was a small underground music scene, and they would have like bigger artists from the Twin Cities or Chicago come up, and I would like open up for them and stuff.
Cool.
But it was garbage. I feel bad for the I feel bad for
many
the to sit through that.
many moons ago.
Yeah, I think the
What
biggest
what did
I opened up
go ahead.
was Professor when he was smaller. The Professor, I think that's his
I
name.
don't know him.
He's from the Twin Cities. He's like known for having like a big crazy mustache.
Okay.
Something
I guess you. There's a lot of the more well known rap and hip hop artists that I don't know because there's a time frame that I quit listening to it and reverted to listening to like 80s rock.
Well, I mean,
And
I don't know if he's well known. I think he's
yeah,
like uh
a local legend.
yeah, like a regional artist.
Gotcha. Gotcha. But yeah, with me, I started listening to music or with rap in the inception of it, with Sugar Hill Gang and, Def Jam records and all that. And I followed like rap and hip hop through the early days. And then around the Tupac Biggie beef, I fell out of it.
Alpha,
And
that's
then
like 20 minutes away from me. What the hell, Alpha? Yeah, if anybody's in Appleton, Oshkosh, Green Bay, I'm like 20 minutes away from all those cities. Sheboygan, minutes. I'm like
cool.
right around that area.
But yeah. What are some of your pet peeves?
Some of my pet peeves. Trying to think. I know I have pet peeves. I just can't think of them off the top of my head.
Well, like for example, one of Alpha Tyler's biggest pet peeves is being cut off when he's speaking.
Yeah.
It throws him into a rage.
I mean, that stuff can be annoying, but I don't know if it's a pet peeve.
Okay.
Used to work in La Crosse. Yeah, La Crosse is on the other side of the state. I'm not close to La Crosse. Close. I could drive to like and not be like not make it like a real long drive. Like within an hour of me, I can drive to Milwaukee, Sheboygan, Oshkosh, Appleton, Green Bay. Those are all within an hour of me.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know. Pet peeves. I don't know. I have pet peeves. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. It's not until somebody does it, I'm like, that's a fucking pet peeve.
Yeah, fingernails on a chalkboard and
yeah, that would be like something I don't like. Those sounds.
Mocon's music. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that one. But
Yeah.
my last question that I've gotten, then we can go ahead and let the audience start asking questions more than they already have, is what's one short-term goal and long-term goal you have not achieved yet?
One short-term goal and one long-term goal that I've not achieved yet.
Right.
Short-term goal. I mean, I guess I don't know what counts as a short-term goal or long-term goal, but I believe like this is a short-term goal. One short-term goal I've not achieved yet is to complete a project like a EP, album, LP, something along those lines. As I do want to feel like now I've had a good amount of music out there. I have a good base of music that it's starting to get to the point where I could release an album. So it's been something I've been trying to focus on, but I haven't yet found a sound that I like for the whole project.
I got you. Alpha trying to be funny.
Short-term bitches, long-term get money. Facts. And then a long-term goal. I mean, as much as I say that I don't do it for money, it would be like super dope if I long-term could make music like my full-time career, where I could just wake up every day and focus on making a song. Whether or not I do or don't make a song, I just feel like the amount of music I could make in that amount of time every day would be insane.
Right.
So that's super dope. But that's like a long-term goal that's not really a goal at the moment. Like I don't think it's reality, but I do acknowledge that it will be cool to just make music for a living.
Well, that's what a goal is. It's something to strive for, not necessarily that you can achieve it. It's to try to achieve it.
Facts.
Does the chat have any questions?
Yeah, this Domier guy is pretty boring. So
No. I'm just boring. I didn't have enough questions. But
there was another question I didn't answer, but I don't remember what it was.
The only one that I know of that you really didn't answer was the pet peeves, because you couldn't think of any.
I feel like you may have asked another question. Oh, whatever. My question for you, Jay.
Okay.
What is your goal with the channel? What do you see? What's your long-term vision for a channel like this?
Honestly, I really don't have too much of a vision for the channel. It's just something I like to do. I really do enjoy doing artist interviews and putting the spotlight on independent artists and letting people get to know them better and understand where they come from and what they do.
That's dope. I think you'd be good at doing this type of stuff, the interviews. I think a lot more artists are willing to do it if you're just. I think you kind of are too open to like, hey, I'm available any day, anytime. Like, just let me know when you're available. Like, somebody's not going to be like, oh, it's really hard for somebody to be like, oh, I'm available this day. And then they feel like if they fall through, it's like on them, or like they have to come up with a day that works for them or whatever. If you just give somebody like 2 to 3 options, this is like a recruiting thing that I learned. If you give somebody 2 to 3 options, they're more likely to actually show up and like go through with it, because then they can pick between those 3 options versus an unlimited amount of options. I can do it next week. I can do it next month. I can do it next year. So,
right. Well, part of the reason that so open right now is, like I said, I'm out of work because I'm still healing from my amputation. Now, when I go back to work, then I will have a schedule where I will go, okay, I can only do interviews at this day or at this time on these days, and so on and so forth.
Okay. All right, so we got Alpha Tyler. What type of mic is Domier's favorite? So my favorite mic is my Lewitt, what is it? The 440 Pure. I really like that mic. The only problem and why I haven't recorded on it recently is I don't have a space that is good for recording that mic. I feel like when I have a space like this that's so open and isn't well treated, dynamic mics are just better at reflecting a lot of that extra noise. So that's why I use the Shure, what is it? The Shure SM7B right now. I also like, I do like how that sounds on my voice in a lot of different situations. Got a like darker sound to it, where the Pure is brighter. No, I don't know. I think there's a manly mic that I really want to get, but I don't know when I'll ever be able to afford it because it's like $4,000.
Right.
And I do think there is like I forget what you would call it, but like a certain threshold of mic. Like you need a certain quality of mic to record good music on. Then once you go past that quality, like going from that to the $4,000s, the $8,000 mics, like the jump isn't as crazy. There is a jump, there is an improvement, but I don't think it's as worth of a improvement, at least at this level of making music. Obviously, if you're making music for movies and it's like audio files are going to be listening to it, then you want like the best of the best. But I think too many people focus on the mic, and I did it as well. Like, oh, once I get this mic, it's going to sound, my voice is going to sound so much different. Or once I do this mic, my voice is going to sound so much better. Yeah, the noise floor and response is everything, and you should consider your environment as part of what you buy. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So,
and the also with what you're saying is, I was always taught you get what you pay for, but there is that threshold that between the cheap and the expensive, where the expensive really isn't the quality of the cheap, and then the cheap stuff not being the quality of the expensive. So you got a middle ground somewhere in there.
yeah, I think the Shure is $400, I think $350. The Lewitt like $250, but I think Lewitt is a better mic. It's a better condenser mic that's better for like actual singing vocals. Just because the noise floor on it's so low that you don't hear anything but the actual vocals. But like I said, the environment's not ideal to record, and I have people walking upstairs playing movies that you can hear down here and stuff. And to get the best that I can in the environment I have, I do think that the Shure does a great job.
Right. Alpha says there's definitely a different mic for each voice/environment. I would personally never buy a Neumann, even though it is finger quotes the best.
Yeah, I just don't get the brand Neumann. I don't get there's so many people that love it, and it just seems like old. Like I don't feel like if I bought a Neumann, like any one of them, I don't feel like, what's the big one they have, the U87. I don't feel like it would be any better than that Lewitt is, in my opinion. Because I have mics, I have other mics that are condenser mics, and maybe there would be like a little bit more shine on the top end or something, and maybe it would I feel like if you just have a good, solid recording, a lot of that can be fixed in post.
Right.
Yeah,
Not Vinny's question.
were nice too, but
Not a Vinny's question. What's your favorite song you've heard this year so far, independent or mainstream?
this year so far, I don't listen to as much music as I used to, because I make music all the time. Honestly, my favorite song that I've listened to, and this is gonna be selfish, but I'm on it. The song that I just sent back to KSN. So make sure you guys are subscribed to KSN because
Yes,
he's got a song coming out with me on it that I think is really dope.
most definitely. KSN is dope. Menace is dope. Alpha Tyler's dope. Jason JV is dope. Domier, of course, is dope. He's here. But yeah, I rock with a lot of the independent artists and would love to interview every one of them. Alpha's like the U87 is great for sure. I've got a homie who has one and it works well for him. But Nampy has a warm audio mic with the U87 plugin, which sounds 100% identical for less than a quarter of the price.
I love what Warm Audio is doing. That would be like another, like if I wanted to get a better mic, that would be, there's I forget what it is that makes the original mic, the C8000. I do kind of want to see how my voice would sound through one of those, but I definitely wouldn't buy the original one because it's like $16,000.
Wow.
Yeah, so I would just get the Warm Audio one for like $800.
Yeah, $16,000. You can buy a motorcycle. And in this economy, that's what you need right about now because it's less gas.
Yeah, it's the Sony mic. Yeah, you're right. That's what it is. I was gonna say Sony, but I didn't want to sound dumb. The Sony C800. I do want to see what my voice would sound like on that, but I also don't want to pay for that. So.
No, I feel you. If we don't have any more questions, I'm going to probably wrap this up soon because I've got a wound care appointment to go to in roughly about 45 minutes.
Yeah, this was awesome. I appreciate you doing the interview. So
not a problem. I appreciate you.
Yeah, if you guys haven't, if you're watching and you haven't, so hit the subscribe button. Hit the goddamn subscribe button.
Amen. And also, like I said, go and check out all the artists that I've mentioned, especially Domier, since he's the interviewee. But, there's a lot of good independent artists out there that deserve support.
Facts. What is a menace?
He's a Dennis the Menace.
That's a question. I don't know exactly. All right. Yeah. You don't have anything else for me? That's a good interview.
Nope. I appreciate you coming through, and I was just taking a sip of my drink before I'll go ahead and shut it down.
Sounds good.
Appreciate everybody stopping by. Like, share, and subscribe.
Oops, sorry, I interrupted you.
It's all good. No, what were you saying?
I was gonna say we made it almost a whole hour. We only need 2 more minutes.
Well, we can hold off for 2 more minutes.
Let's do it.
I don't have to like shut it down right away. Make it at least an hour.
Yeah. Go check out my new song.
Yes, go check out his new song.
Rules to Dream By. Really like the title of that.
That is a good one. And it's a great song too. We played it at the opening of the show, so if anybody missed it, you can go back and check it out later.
Facts. All righty. We got 1 minute left.
Right. It's always that last minute that gets everybody like, oh, what do we talk about? But I appreciate you coming by, and I enjoyed the conversation. And
there was another question by Fireman.
Huh?
There was another question by Fireman. It says, name an artist you really want to work with.
Oh yeah, I missed that one. My bad.
An artist I really want to work with. I don't know. I've been really in a weird place with working with artists. So like we did the thing with Little White, and then like the like a real potential. But then we started thinking about doing something with like Jelly Roll and stuff. I've kind of gone full circle and like, yeah, that would be cool to do songs with those bigger artists. But I would really like to work with smaller artists, like somebody who doesn't have a good mix. Like send me something that's not completely finished, like what I did with Muff on that Fairy Tales song. I don't know if you guys have heard that one, but she had like an unfinished song. She sent it over, and she's like, he actually sent me like 3 songs. She's like, "Hey, which one of these do you think you would want to do?" And I was like, "Oh, this Fairy Tales one sounds really dope. Send me the stems to that." And then I mixed it, added my part to it, and I think that song is actually like really cool. I don't know, because it's so creative, it's so unique, it's like somebody else had this idea, and I was able to just add like my little parts to it.
Right. Yes, Rain, you found me, but unfortunately, it's at the end of the show.
Yeah, and that
But
got
I
us.
appreciate you coming by.
That got us to a full hour on the interview.
Yeah, and I don't have to shut it down right away. Like I said, I got to drive to my wound care appointment, but the appointment's at 1:30. It's like 12:53 now, so I can run late.
His little parts. I know.
What would you think about working with somebody like Athena?
I mean, obviously, I'd work with anybody, honestly. Like,
Right.
Athena would be dope. I just feel like she's gonna be working with bigger artists, so it's not.
Not if you listen to her.
I mean, I would obviously work with her. She's dope.
Yeah. No. What I'm getting at is she has a lot of self-doubt.
Yeah, I get that. I think she's gonna end up winning the whole rundown. They were like,
She's gonna have some major collabs in the future. I know that one. Even if she doesn't win the rundown, she's gonna have some major collabs happening.
they were like choking over themselves, hyping her up. Like, I think she's dope, and
Yeah.
she makes great music. But they were like, "Oh my god, a female rapper!" Okay, chill out, dudes. She's dope. I get it. She's dope, but
Yeah.
she's also just a
Well,
person like everybody else.
well, the other thing is when she won, they made it a point to say they don't typically like female rappers because they think they're corny, but she was one of those special ones that they didn't feel that about.
This season Final Four rundown is going to be epic. I don't know.
I mean,
I believe it. It could be.
yeah, I mean, to me, as long as one of 3 people are in the final and or win, I'm happy, and that's KSN, Athena, or Layman. Any one of those 3 wins, I'm happy. Anyone, and if any of them lose, but to the final person, I'm also still happy because at least one of the 3 of them made it to the final, person.
Yeah. I feel like 50-50 on people that have made it to the winner circle. Like half of them are dope, and half of them are like, really, that guy made it.
Yeah,
And
and to me, the only real criticism I've had of this season was the fact that you had people that were dope artists, one put in the wrong song for their first song, so they got kicked out quick, or people that had a mediocre song but went up against really crappy people and they kept having to go up against like more than one crappy person. I'm sorry, but if an artist, it's supposed to be a head-to-head show, and an artist goes up against somebody that's crap, then that one that's not crap should move on.
Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. I just wish that, because the way that it was presented is it was open to any kind of songs, and it's
Right.
quickly turned into just a specific type of sound is what they're looking for, which is fine. It's just I wish that wasn't, if that's what you were
Well,
after, I wish that wasn't like,
well, from my understanding, that they want the rundown to be open to any type of artist that's an independent artist, how or that needs that help up to do better and everything. But the prize package with Adam being a feature caused everybody to look at it like, okay, who's going to fit with Adam instead of you know just good music.
well, that's why I think, kind of like I think what you said the other day is like the first round. I don't think Adam should be like as awesome as like it is that he's on the panel every week.
Hmm.
I think that it's disingenuous for him to, because you're only limiting. I don't know. I guess you're limiting the potential that the song could have if you just had a bunch of dope artists from all different kinds of genres, and then you could make something different.
Yeah.
Like Adam, I feel like should be there for the final four and the final winner, because he's going to be the one that has to work with it. But I think to get an objectively good final four, you shouldn't just have it only be one type of sound that you're looking for, because like there's
Yeah.
I'm not and this isn't just because of me, but like taking me into account, I make a lot of different type of songs, a lot of different type of sounds, and a lot of different types of songs.
Hmm.
And I submitted something that was like that I thought was hip hop ish, because I didn't know what to submit. But after getting feedback, I would have submitted something different, like
Right.
or made something specifically for it. But I never got that opportunity because I just got eliminated like immediately.
Right.
And I'm
Yeah.
sure not the only type of artist that did that, because there was a lot of other singers or like
Hmm.
sound song artists that just submitted like music that they weren't necessarily looking for, or like
Right.
I don't know.
But like I said, the rundown is a great show. I don't want to shit on it. I just have some personal opinions. And speaking of Athena, hey, hi Athena, in the chat.
Yeah.
What's good, Sam Squatch? Y'all coming in at the end of the show. We're getting ready to wrap it up.
Yeah, I do think what you said the other day, where like the first round should have just been like, does this person make good enough quality music? They go into like the bracket,
Hmm.
and like the first weeded out like the bad quality music in the first couple rounds that way, and then you get to the bracket and you go,
Sweet 16.
yeah, or whatever it would have been, even if it was like a 32 bracket, like. But it's still dope. It's still a great opportunity for artists. Like I have
All right.
nothing bad to say about it. It's just
Right. And people that have lost need to understand that, you're getting exposure, and you'll have people that have never heard of you hit you up for collabs and stuff.
facts.
It's all good, Athena. And like I said, it'll be up on my page. So if people are interested, they can go back and watch later. I just have a wound care appointment that I need to get going to. So I might have to shut her down. We've been live for an hour and 8 minutes.
Yep. Great job.
I appreciate it. And I thank all y'all for coming out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all later.